Hi, and welcome to Messages from an Angel. I'm your host, Angel Morgan, and today we have our monthly astrologer, Nancy Arruda. But we're going to have a little bit of fun because Nancy, she's brought her spirit deck with her. So that means we can do call-in readings with Nancy and myself. It's 647-931-4701. When we come back, our lines are going to be open just for you.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, and we're back with Messages from an Angel, and we're here with Nancy Arruda. Nancy is one of, I think, my close friends. I think I can call you that, yeah?
Absolutely.
We've known each other for years. Nancy is an incredibly gifted astrologer. I'm a very fortunate host. I get to have really wonderfully gifted, skilled people on my show. Nancy has a whole range of gifts that she works with, whether it's holistic healing or psychic readings or astrology. But astrology is your strongest suit, yes? Do you think?
I started with astrology, so it's my familiarity, right?
Okay.
So it's where I'm comfortable.
That's your basis.
Yes. And then, of course, with the astrology, everything else started to develop. So basically, my journey started when my psychic gifts just popped open one day.
Okay, how did that happen? Tell me how that happened for you.
What was an awakening experience? So I started having visions. And one of the visions was I got in my car first thing in the morning. I look at the clock and I'm like 8:33, and this is when you're going to your regular job, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 kind of thing. And I was in this place of thinking there's got to be more to life than just this bump and grind, right?
I know that feeling.
So I got in the car and I'm like 8:33, why do I need to know the time? Because the time really burned itself in my mind. And I lived out in the countryside at the time, so as I drove down the driveway, just as I got to the road, in big black letters, like somebody had gotten a big Sharpie marker and written "break-in" in the sky.
Really?
And I went, oh, my house is going to get broken into today. And I'm like, well, that's ridiculous.
I'd be like, thanks for the heads up.
Nobody writes in the sky,
right?
Right. Okay, so I completely ignore it. My husband went home for lunch that day, and he called me at work, and he's like, you're never going to believe this. And I'm like, what? He goes, the house was broken into.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course it was. They wrote it in the sky.
You said this to him?
Yeah, and he goes, what are you talking about? And I'm like, wait a minute, who are they? And how did they write in the sky? So that's kind of how my whole journey started, because, the next thing you do is you go see a psychic.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't an actual event that opened you up. You just woke up one day and this just started evolving for you.
Yeah, it just started evolving for me. Wow. So, I've known things all my life. I'd always know what the teacher was going to say before she'd say it. I always knew the answers to every question.
In Europe, we call that the knowing, right?
Yes.
So the nonas and the nanas, they have the knowing. They just know things are going to happen. Someone's going to call, someone's going to guess, and we call that the knowing.
It is one psychic ability called
absolutely.
claircognizance, which means clear knowing.
Yes.
So I've had that my whole life, but I thought everybody knew stuff.
Yeah, when it becomes natural to you, you just figure everybody's like that, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it's really funny. We have a mutual friend and in Newmarket, and they own a store. And the store owner's daughter always saw auras. And when she was a little girl, she used to draw people. And when she'd draw the people, she'd draw rainbows around them. So her mom asked her one day, she said, "Why do you draw rainbows around?" She goes, "What are they? What?" She goes, "They're not rainbows. They're the lights that are around people." And she was seeing people's auras.
Yeah.
But she thought it was so natural. She just figured everybody did that, right? And this is what we are. My son's the same way. He's always seen spirits. He's always, so to him it's second nature.
Yes.
Right? Until we're told it's not, or until we're told different, we don't know. Right? We don't. So how old were you when this started for you?
I was 26, 27.
See, I was 27, 28. And
Yeah.
they say between 27 and 29, that's when a woman comes into her own.
Oh,
That's when she
absolutely.
starts to really understand herself and know herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
that's pretty cool.
So yeah, and there was a series of other events too.
Yeah.
So, and that brought me to a psychic, right, to start investigating. And I'm sitting with this person I don't even know, and they're like, "You're an astrologer." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not." I don't know what you're talking about.
That happened to me. Yeah, I totally get it. I was in theater, and the psychic turned to me, and she said, I said, "So tell me about my career." I'm thinking Stratford, Shaw. And she looks at me, and she goes, "You're going to be doing this." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm going to be doing? What are you talking about?" So yeah, so you went to a psychic. She told you were going to be an astrologer.
An astrologer. So I started consciously investigating astrology. I went out and I looked for a teacher, and it hit all the cues that they told me I would hit, but I started with astrology. And I think opening up your psychic abilities really starts with self-discovery, knowing who you are.
Absolutely.
So I took an introductory to astrology course 8 times, where I just kept analyzing my own chart. And doing a lot of self-discovery around myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's very funny. We did have another psychic on a few months ago, Alex, and I think she said the same thing. She goes, "I started doing my chart." She started at 10. And she goes, "I was playing with that kind of stuff and really understanding me, and it's really helped me understand others."
Yes.
Right? So you have your own baseline. You know,
Exactly.
and it's funny you say that, because with me, astrology has never really been my thing, but I'm very empathic. So when I started to understand my feelings and how I felt, I could discern others' feelings when I was feeling their stuff.
Yes.
Right? So each of us goes through this self-discovery. So I totally understand
Yeah,
that.
as a child, and now still, I'm very empathic as well. My mother
Yes.
used to tell me I was overly sensitive.
Yeah. Stop crying.
Yeah.
That's what I used to get all the time.
And there'd be things like, "Why are you crying?" I'd be like, "I don't know."
I remember when my grandmother passed away, my dad's mom, she had passed away, and I was standing, I'll never forget it, looking away from her. And my mom and my grandmother never got along. So when she got the phone call, all of a sudden I felt this well of laughter. And I was laughing and laughing. My mother's going, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "It's not about what's wrong with me. What's wrong with you?" Because it was her relief. It was
Yeah.
her and I understood this later on, but at that moment I felt so
Yes.
weird and different
Yeah.
and out of sorts. You know, as a child, it's not nurtured. How do you know?
Oh, exactly.
You know, and I think all psychics are empathic. They
Yes.
have to be. I would.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a sense of empath there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, whether you choose to display or show those emotions are different than feeling them. So you're feeling them anyways. Displaying them is a total choice.
Now, is this something that runs in your family?
Yes.
Astrology or being psychic, or both?
Being psychic.
Being psychic. Okay.
Yes.
Where does it run?
So, on my mom's side.
I knew you were gonna say that.
So my mother, there's different types of psychics out there.
Can
So,
you talk about that a little bit?
okay, so there are what we would call.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about that in the next segment. I want to know
okay.
about you. So tell me about your family.
So my mother is known as a mystic psychic. Okay, meaning she will tap into things on a practical level. She sees things as both good and bad. Right?
Okay.
So to her, there's no gray line in between. It's either a negative situation or a positive situation.
Okay.
Okay.
Is she a Gemini, by any chance?
No, she's a
Okay.
Leo.
Oh, very interesting, because Geminis are very black and white,
Yes.
right? So, sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, she's a Leo with Capricorn rising and Moon in Pisces. So yeah, she does see anything as either good or bad.
Right.
Right. So, but I'm not like that. I see the positive in everything, and that's what you would call a spiritual psychic.
Really? Okay.
Someone who can identify with the spiritual lessons in life and what you're learning. So when you look at the situations, it's neither negative or positive. It just is. It's bringing you to the point that you need to be at.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
How we perceive something makes it negative or positive.
Right.
So that's the difference between me and my mom, but it goes back into my mom's mom and my mom's mom's sisters. And
what's your ethnic background, if you don't mind my asking?
Portuguese.
Oh, you're Portuguese. Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I was born in Canada, but
but you're
both my mother and father are from Portugal.
Yeah, and the reality is with European families too, depending on what country you come from, there's a very strong tendency towards one or the other.
Yes.
Like, do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
the Greeks are oracles, the Italians are dreamers, the Maltese are, I don't know what we are, but we are. Like, you know, so I'm still trying to figure us out.
Yeah.
So this does run in your mom's side. Now, do you have siblings as well?
I do.
And do they have gifts?
She does, but she chooses not to look at them.
Mine too. Mine is a gifted dream walker. And for those of you who don't know what a dream walker is, these are people who are lucid dreamers. They know when they're dreaming. They can affect their waking life through their dreams. All kinds of shamanic medicines, healers. They're amazing. My sister's a dream walker, but she's been so frightened as a child by some of her dreams that she just chooses not to go there. She's starting to slowly open up again, but it's a very interesting thing. Now, astrologically, though, that plays a part in it, whether someone is scared of their own abilities or wants to open up to them, like their experiences in life too.
Yes.
But it also depends on where you're at in your chart, who you are with your chart, all this kind of stuff as well.
Yes, what's being activated.
Yes.
Because like at certain ages, you do go through certain life cycles.
Yeah.
Which will help you evolve and grow as an individual.
Now, you know all of this stuff. Sorry, I know I'm jumping from thing to thing, but I have so many questions for you particularly. You know, it's very interesting. You have all this information, because you have your chart, you have your boyfriend's chart, you have this person's chart, whatever. But yet, we still have to live a human existence.
Absolutely.
So when somebody turns to us and goes, you know, you should listen to your own advice, or you should do this, or you should... My reaction to that is, okay, but I'm channeling for other people, right? So I'm in a space at that time. When I'm myself, sometimes I can be whiny, and sometimes I can have arguments, and sometimes I'm not perfect as a psychic.
No, we're human.
Yes.
Right? We are human. And one thing that I get a lot of is like, you should know your winning lottery numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, if I could predict the winning lottery numbers, I would win every time.
But it's not even that. Sometimes it's not for us to know every aspect of our journey.
Absolutely.
You know?
Right? And how would it serve us to win the lottery every time?
Yeah.
Right? Would we be fulfilling our life mission? Not
Very
necessarily.
good point.
Right?
I think, too, it's that whole idea of... I read this really interesting article once, but we'll get back to that when we come back, because we're actually at a commercial break. Okay. So Messages from an Angel, we'll be right back to talk about the lottery.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Hi, And we're back with messages from an angel. And we were just talking in the break about the lottery. And it's amazing. If you guys could see what we talk about during the break, sometimes it's even more interesting than what's on the air. But I was talking about the idea that I read this article about how winning a lottery is like a mountain. And there are all these energies that want that one goal. Yes. And the reality is it's the strongest energy, most powerful energy, purest energy. And it's not a conscious thing. It's really in your spirit. And the strongest one is what's going to win those numbers or get those numbers or what have you. But the problem is while you're going up the mountain, the energy is continually going to change. If someone is like really strong and this is what I want, this is my goal, I want to manifest this, and then someone turns and goes, you'll never win the lottery, they discourage that energy. And Absolutely. They can actually knock that off balance, yes. Right? Because everything is energetic. And I truly mean that. Right? For me, every little thing is energetic. And Everything we have freedom of will, as Absolutely. You were saying. Right? So we can, like I say to my clients, as you were saying, is, I'll say, here's your strongest path. This is what you need to do X, Y, and Z. You step left, you step right. You can change that. Yep. If I see you having a heart attack, I'm not going to say you're going to have a heart attack. I'll say eat for your heart. This can mitigate the heart attack. You can avoid it altogether. You might have the heart attack, but at least you did something that's proactive. Yes. Right?
I agree. 95% of the stuff we have the power to change.
Yes.
Okay. 5%, we don't.
Well, 5% is that unknown.
That's right.
5% is that unknown. And that's the beauty of life and the journey.
Yes.
And that's what we were saying earlier, is sometimes it's not for us to know the journey.
No. No, life is all about the journey.
Well, that's it. And that's so much more fun. Like, it's really funny. I had a woman come into my space once, and she goes, tell me how my boyfriend is going to, I want to know how my boyfriend's going to, when he's going to ask me and how he's going to ask me. And I saw it. So I told her. Well, it was really cool. And she said, if you want to tell people, you can. That night I went home and I was talking to my husband at the time. And I told him, he goes, how dare you? I said, what? He goes, how do you know he hasn't been planning that for you? You've just blown everything out of the water. You took that away from them. And I felt terrible. I felt, because it actually happened the way I said. Yes. So where's the surprise in that for her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's the 100% joy?
And typically, if I have somebody that's with me and they ask a question about somebody else, and I don't say it verbally, but in that moment, I ask, do I have permission to share this information?
Yes, I did that. I do
right?
that now.
I instantly ask that question. It's like an autopilot
Can
question
I say this?
That kicks in.
Me too. Now, me too. After that lesson,
yes.
It's like, you know what? Can I say this? Is that okay if I can say it? Okay. Because just because I have the information doesn't mean I should share it.
No. And a lot of times, if I have information and I'm going to share it and Spirit doesn't want me to, they cut me right off at the throat.
I've had that happen.
Like, so it'll feel like a knife going right through my throat, and I'll just lose my breath, and I'll start hacking and coughing and be like, okay, can't share that information.
For me, it's like, I can't say it. Like, the words won't come out. I want to, but the words will not come out.
The words will come out, but if I share words that I'm not supposed to, then there's a karmic implication on me.
Yeah, see, I can't.
And you know what? I don't want to take on anybody else's karma.
Yeah, absolutely. And
on my own.
Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about we're talking about guides and guardians and angels and archangels. We have a team that works with us just the way that you out there, each of you has a team that works with you. And so we tap in, we connect with them, and they connect with us, and we kind of powwow. And it goes even deeper than that, because we're like computers, right? I network with you, you network with me, you download all the information, I download all my information. And that's why sometimes when people go, well, how come they're going to give you the information if you're not supposed to share it? Well, sometimes it's just data,
Absolutely.
And we get that data, and then the guides and guardians will go, okay, yes or no.
Well, there's also a process to understanding the data. So before we can actually, respond to a question, we need to understand the data so that we can frame the answer appropriately.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't mean we're supposed to share all of the data.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about that. Please understand, today is a call-in day, 647-931-4701. If you would like a reading with Nancy or myself, or both of us, obviously, please call in. We have decks today. We're working with cards and doing something a little bit different. So our number is 647-931-4701. If you don't want to call in and you want to leave a comment, you can do that on YouTube, on Facebook, and we will get that, and we will answer your question through your comments in the comment areas. So now that we've talked about who you are as a psychic and psychic work, which is really cool, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to expect now. Now, we've been through August, and we've been through the three eclipses and the Mercury retrograde and all that jazz. So what do we have now to expect in September and coming in October?
Okay, so to recap briefly, 2018 is a year of personal mastery through relationships.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that we're doing on a personal level is really around self-mastery.
Yep.
Okay. And it will reflect in our relationships. The summer was very, very intense. It was all about letting go. And most people were brought to situations that dealt with their past. So unfinished business from the past that was resurfacing or reoccurring.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can trigger new situations as well. So for those people who are like, no, there's no past connection at all, there's always the potential to be right in that doorway between the past and the new.
Yeah.
So new situations could also have gotten triggered. But it was really around releasing. And now that we're moving into September, we're being given the ability to move forward temporarily on many different levels.
I like the way you said that, temporarily.
We have Saturn stationing direct today, which is September the 6th.
Nice.
And it had been retrograde since April 17th.
Yeah.
And when Saturn goes retrograde, we're being asked to restructure our life in some way, shape, or form. Typically, it pulls in energies around careers. So you will notice a forward movement in either your social status or your career movement.
That's good to know.
The ability to move forward. Mm-hmm. Towards the end of September, Pluto will station direct. So it'll show you the changes that you need to make on this forward moving journey.
Now, what does that mean to be direct in retrograde?
So when a planet is retrograde, so basically all planets follow a direct path around the sun.
Right.
And all the planets from Mars to Pluto, except for the Earth or the Sun. In astrology, we kind of call the Sun it's a luminary, but we'll refer to it as a planet.
Okay.
Will slow down on their orbital path. So they're all traveling at a certain rate of speed, and then from time to time, their speed slows down.
Okay.
And because the Earth is traveling faster than that planet, it'll feel like that planet is traveling backwards. Okay, and one way to really feel what a retrograde is like is if you're sitting on a subway and you're parked at the station, okay? All of a sudden, the train beside you goes whizzing by.
Yes.
It'll actually feel like you're being pulled backwards.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the motion of a retrograde. It takes the planetary energies and mixes it up a bit.
Okay.
The planets that affect us the most in a retrograde phase are personal planets. So that would be Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
And Venus is coming up.
Yes. That's where I went temporarily moving forward.
That's all I want to go is do-do-do.
When we deal with the outer planets, they retrograde so often and for such a long period of time, we typically only feel it during its shift. So about a week before it stations retrograde or direct until a week after.
Yeah.
Right? So Saturn has been retrograde since April.
Right.
We're working on restructuring, but we're not feeling it personally.
Yes.
It's just kind of happening around us.
It's happening, yeah, and we're feeling stuck, although we're kind of feeling the things happen. It's like I was saying that this morning, that I feel like things are moving forward, but I'm not seeing them. So it's funny that you say that.
We will start to see them towards mid to end September.
Yes.
However, with Venus...
I hate howevers. I seriously, people... Go on.
With Venus stationing retrograde, that's where that personal self-mastery energy is kind of being activated this year again.
Right.
It is going into the sign of Scorpio. It will retrograde into the sign of Scorpio, retrograde back into the sign of Libra, before it'll station direct and move forward again. So on October 2nd to November 16th, Venus will be retrograde.
Okay.
Typically, when Venus is retrograde, there's two types of issues that can be triggered. Relationship issues and financial issues. Because Venus rules both of those energies.
Okay.
So she has natural rulership with Taurus, which is what do I value? What do I personally value and believe? So when our values and beliefs are being questioned by ourselves, we'll see that in our financial portfolios, okay? As well as the relationship. So she's ruled by the sign of Libra, which is how do I relate to you? How do I relate to myself?
So, okay, go ahead.
So when it goes retrograde, those are the two questions we're asking ourselves. Okay. Is our relationship with people and our relationship with money will become relevant, and will be shown what we need to do to align healthier relationship with ourselves or with others.
So we'll be shown not the learnings, but we'll be given the tools and shown the tools to use to move through these things. Because that would be my question. Because I'm hearing this and I'm tensing up. Like I'm kind of going, oh my God, like financial stuff, this. So I can imagine what people are listening to out there. So my question would be is how do we navigate through those times in a way that's positive for us?
Be conscious. Open your eyes to what the universe is showing you in your life.
So take a look at the signs.
Take a look at the signs. Take a look at the synchronicities.
Now you said something to me before we started the show. You said don't avoid.
Oh,
don't
absolutely.
Avoid. So what does that mean? Tell our listeners.
When you go into an avoidance place with a retrograde cycle, so with Venus retrograde, when you go to the place of avoidance, you're going to make the lesson so much harder.
Right.
Okay, so it can be easier by just stepping up and dealing with whatever's presented to you.
So basically, when you get to the bridge, cross it. Right?
Yes.
When the situation is presented, hey, you know what? I have to deal with this. Here's a conversation that's uncomfortable, but I need to have it. I'm going to have it. Like you were saying, if credit collector calls, take the phone. Do what you need to do, because this is the restructuring part that's really going to help you move forward financially. And in relationships, that conversation that you might have to have, that will either strengthen the relationship or, as you said, may help to ease that relationship apart, whatever is coming. Yeah.
And be truthful and honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Tell them the truth. And if you don't have an answer, then say, I don't have an answer.
Yeah, and that's so hard for us. And I find, and you know what, I'm gonna take this one on. I find women have a hard time doing that more than men.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we are the ones who have to know, because we keep the family structure together. That's in our heads, right? Yeah. So we're the ones who have to have the answers for everything. So all you ladies out there who are listening, I don't know is an okay statement. Give yourself permission to say, hey, listen, you know what? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's open a dialogue and ask questions. That's a big thing for me that I'm learning. If you're in a really strong relationship, you should be able to ask questions. And when you ask questions of your partner, you ask questions of yourself, you're going to find that you go deeper and deeper. And it's like a triangle until you get to that answer that is either compromise for the two of you or the answer that both of you are actually looking for and finding out you're on the same page. So in this time that's coming, one of the tools that you can use right now, starting from now, ask questions, open dialogue gently.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So this is what September and October are really looking for right now, and it looks like we have a caller. Oh, we're at a break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, and we're back. We were just talking about the whole idea of sitting in fear. That was like the last 30 seconds that we're talking about. I think you're right. The biggest thing is not to sit in fear. Now, a lot of people will say that to a psychic. It's like, well, you know, so you have nothing to be afraid of. And in my particular case, yeah, you know what? A lot of times I'm very confident and people will go, you know, you don't care. You don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I can see the outcome of this particular thing. But there are instances, because I'm human, where I do get afraid and I am fearful. And that's okay. But the thing is you have to have tools in order to move forward from that fear.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, and for you, how do you deal with that? Because I know.
So I have to process my fear like everybody else. But what I do is I analyze it. So I remove myself from the emotion of the fear and I become this observer and I observe my behavior. And then I start questioning, where's this fear coming from? And I'll look back through my life and find specific events that are very similar in nature that trigger that fear.
I used to do that a lot. Now what I find I'm doing as I'm getting older is if I feel a fear, I'll lie down, I'll go have a coffee, and I'll let the fear take over for a bit. Like, you know, I'll allow myself to fully acknowledge I'm afraid. And in acknowledging that, I'll actually get like a picture or I'll get something. And then I start to question, okay, I'm feeling this. I'm allowing myself to, so where is this coming from? And I allow myself to go deeper. I just feel. Like that's a big thing, and that's something I preach a lot on the show, is living a feel lifestyle.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
feel it fully. And I give myself like an hour or so. Sometimes I'll just go and curl up in bed and I'll just let myself do it. I know it's really stupid or really funny. I feel good. When I allow myself, whether it's anger, whether it's fear, whether it's sadness, I actually feel good just kind of allowing myself to sit in it for a little bit.
I agree with you. You have to process the emotion before you can analyze it.
Yeah.
So I do allow myself to feel it as well, right? Whether, like you said, it's an hour, a day, 2 days, however long you need for it to move through.
Yeah, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else.
Absolutely.
Acknowledge.
Yeah, and that's where you kind of go into your own inner solitude, and then I separate myself from the emotion and I analyze it. And I process it from a reflection component by looking back. When did I feel this the last time?
Yeah.
What was going on? What was being triggered?
And that's a really important thing because we can't neglect our past, right? Like a lot of people say, you know, you don't dwell in the past and the past is the past.
Yeah.
Yes, but every once in a while, there is a necessity to revisit it if there's something there that's holding you back from it.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean you sit in it and dwell in it.
No.
But it does mean you can sit there and go, okay, hello.
Yes.
Goodbye.
I agree. The past is the past. However, if we haven't healed or resolved or completed situations around a specific event or emotion or whatever experience, it will repeat itself.
And can an astrological chart help us? Because my thing is if I have, see with me, I try to deal with my own stuff. But every once in a while, and even with a psychic, it's really, really important to reach out. Now, before we go any further, hi there, I've been watching your show. I'd love to ask, how do I fully embrace and enjoy my journey over the next 3 months? Cancer rising with a Pisces mid-heaven here.
Okay.
That's a Nancy question. All yours, baby.
Okay, fully embroidered and chase my journey over the next 3 months.
And you can tap into that. We're reading this, but we can actually tap into that through that statement and that comment, even through her beautiful picture, by the way.
So when I tap into the Cancer rising and Pisces midheaven energy, what I'm hearing is allow yourself to go with the flow. Like, don't try to control what's taking place around you.
Don't relax.
Yeah, just relax. Take one step at a time in your journey, and you'll be shown which direction to turn in.
Yeah, and I get a lot of fear around you. One of the things that you can do, and this is something I've been having to do lately too, is there's a Bach remedy called Rock Rose, and it's BACH is the remedy, and it's for terror, for fear. And I feel like that's something that can actually help you over the next few months. And they're showing me don't start it till probably about the second week or last week of September, but take it every night for 8 nights. And if you do that, that's actually going to help to rebalance you a little bit. It's a homeopathic, so it's not going to hurt you. So that's an option for you.
Yes.
Okay. So that could help. Thank you, by the way, for sending that comment. Please feel free to send more comments, whether it's through Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We are getting those comments and we will answer them for you. I was saying something earlier, and I can't remember what it was now.
I can't either.
Because it was really wise and enlightening, I'm sure. But it was about something, and I can't remember now. But that's okay. It obviously wasn't that important. So talking about the retrogrades that we've come through. Now, is this the last retrograde for this year? The last Mercury. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Is that the last Mercury retrograde for this year? Oh, God.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay,
I can't
that's
recall.
okay. That's okay. I'd rather you not be able to recall because I'm thinking,
At break, I will look.
okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's good. I love it. See, do you see? This is one of the things I love about my guests is the honesty. We don't try to make it up. Like I find that I've seen psychics and I've seen readers and they're like, oh yes, and this is the way it is, and this is what's coming, and they're like blowing smoke up your butt, and it's not. It's like it's stupid. I would rather someone say to me, you know what? I don't know right now. Even through a reading.
I was checking my mental compartments in my brain, going,
Wait, do I
okay,
know
where's
this?
the
Do I
Mercury
know this?
retrograde?
But even as a psychic, I'll be with a client and I will be sitting there and I'll go, you know what? I need to tap into that more deeply. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Or right now, I don't know. I'm not being given that information. I rather be honest with someone and give them the stuff that's necessary. I have an hour with
Absolutely.
you,
Yeah.
and that's actually not a lot of time.
No, it's
so
not.
I want to try and give you the best I can give you. Right? That's just the way it is.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm hearing something. I just heard Angel coming in for you. And I got a 50s radio and I could see it tuning in. And they're saying, go to your higher self. And that's actually for you. Ooh, I got a message from one of my guests. They're saying, go to your higher self so that you can flow better in the situations that are coming ahead for you in the next month, especially in September. But October, break free. You're going to break free. That's what I just heard.
Yes.
Oh, I like that for you.
Oh, I do too.
And what's really funny is, when you're like Antigua or the Bahamas and you're in the water and it feels really good,
Yeah.
that's what it's going to feel like in
See, and
October.
now I'm breaking out in a sweat.
That's a good thing.
So to me, that's a,
Ooh,
that's
baby,
a,
she's breaking out
that's
in
a
a
signal
sweat.
of releasing.
Good.
So typically when I get like the either the goosebumps or this
Yes.
little hot wave that moves through me.
That's
Some
a
people may
validation
say
for
it's
you.
a female cycle of life, but it's happened my whole life.
Yeah.
So it's a validation that you're clearing something, that you're releasing
Yes.
something on an emotional level.
And that's what happens when a reading happens, is that we're there to unblock. People
Yes.
think it's just to get answers, and it's really not. It's not just about answers. It's about healing.
Yeah, and when you said that, it put me to that place of trust, and it's like I felt this
you.
little plug come out of my chest,
Aw,
right?
thank
Which is the whole
you.
trust area.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And it's really funny because it takes a lot of
Yeah.
courage to sit with people like us because you're being vulnerable.
It
You're
does.
like, yes, get into my head. That's okay. Here I am. I'm going to open up my head to you. And that's kind of freaky. And it's funny because I never really understood what that was like until I started meeting people like me. Like first time you ever read me was years ago.
It was.
And you actually said to me, you're going to meet a guy who's going to rock your world. And my head literally went like this. Whoa.
You're like, I don't know if I should believe that.
No, I knew. No, when you did that, at that moment of just feeling, it just was realigning me. And I thought, I don't know who this guy is, but whatever. And then I meet Carl, my partner, and I'm going, oh my God, you're the guy that Nancy talked about years ago. And that's what I love too, is that people will come in and 3 years later, I will get an email.
Yes.
Everything you said 3 years ago, here's how it's unfolded.
Yes.
I just got one like that the other day. Isn't that amazing when
Oh,
you
I
get that
do
validation?
too. And I even get validation 10 years later.
Do you really?
So like there's times where I do astrological readings in which the life cycles can take 10 years to complete. Right? And I'll have people say, you gave me enough information for 10 years.
Wow.
Now I'm due for another reading. And I'm like, okay, I need to be charging more.
Yeah.
Right? If you're good for 10 years on my reading.
What's really funny is I actually have clients that I have sent to you who will come
Yes.
back to me and go, here's Nancy's chart, right? Or they'll go, they'll say, tell me what's coming up. And I'll go, da-da-da. That's funny. That's what Nancy said. Hell screw you people.
It's true, because then I'll be talking to those people and I'll be saying, well, you need to be doing this, 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 and this. And she's like, that's exactly what Angel told me to do.
Yeah, and but it's nice for them because they have
Absolutely.
this double validation. I remember once I was at a trade show and Psychic Nikki was there, and she was giving people readings. And then what they would do is they'd test. They would come to me or go to another reader, and they'll go, okay, that's what she said or that. And I had this one woman. She came to me and she goes, that's not what Nikki said. And I said, okay. And she goes, but I like your reading. I like it. Because she's very direct and she's very straightforward. Or I kind of try to be very diplomatic
Here's
about
what I've noticed by people who have multiple readings by multiple people around a similar situation. Okay?
Yeah, tell me about that. Yeah, we've never talked about that.
You will get every possible answer.
Every angle.
Every
You
angle,
want every
of
angle.
every answer.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
one person might say, no, it's not going to happen. The other person says, yes, it is going to happen. The next
However, it's
person will
this way.
say, yeah. And the reason being is because when you seek too much advice, okay, you're not trusting yourself.
It's not
so
even-
Spirit will
you
play
know,
that little
yeah.
game with you. They'll be like, oh, you really want to know?
But it's
Let's
not
mix
even
it up a
that.
bit.
There's so much more because, you know, what one reader says, by the time you get to the next reader, you've shifted. You've already
Absolutely.
changed. So you can change your course and path in a matter
Absolutely.
of seconds. When we come back, I'm going to tell you guys a story of something very similar that happened to me very early in my career. It was really close to that learning. We'll be right back after these messages. We'll be right back. I'm dating myself. Oh my God.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Frugal, I forgot what we were talking about in our last segment. I'm going to be honest. We're having way too much fun. Shit, I got to start. Oh, we're starting to start. Thank God we don't have CRTC rulings over here. My God.
Well, this is what happens when you're on the air with a friend.
I know, because the conversation continues, right? So
Yes.
we were talking about well, we were obviously talking about psychic abilities. Well, we're going to continue anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the lovely thing about these kinds of shows is that you don't know what to expect. I'm going to go back on this show and go, oh, that's what it was.
You were talking about me, what I was going to be going through.
What you were going, no, you went through a certain situation.
Yeah.
And I remember now, horses, that's what it was. See, I always put a picture in my head.
Horses?
Yes, because when I was early in my career, I was at a trade show and a woman came to me and she'd been to 10 different readers
Right.
about
That's what we were
her
talking about.
horse. And she didn't tell me this, but she gave me the picture. She said, read this horse. I said, okay, here's what's happening psychologically. And she got really angry. And I said, what's what? And she goes, you have given me all the information I've been looking for, and I've been 10 different readers. How come they couldn't give me this information? I said, because each reader is on a different vibration and can connect in a different way.
Yes.
I said, one reader can give you a different aspect, like the medical condition of your horse. One can give you the mental aspect, what's going on. One can give you the emotional aspect. So when you go to these different readers, what you're getting is all different information, and then you have to put it together. Your best bet is to go to a reader with specific questions.
Yes.
And then be happy with the information that you're getting. We have a caller, ladies and gentlemen. We do. Hi, how are you? Hello?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
Tara.
Hi, Tara. You are here
Hi.
with Nancy and I. What is your question today? Thank you for calling in.
I'm just wondering. There's like a lot of little things going on, but it's a lot of stuff in my head.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, like, what you guys see for, like, the next, like, immediate future.
Okay, well, Nancy's already pulling cards, so something's already coming. So I'm going to give her.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this to her. What do you see?
What's your birthday?
What's my birthday?
Yes.
August 16th, 76.
Okay. So how old are you? Because I can't do the math.
76 makes you
42.
42. Okay. So currently you're in a life cycle of trying to break free of all restrictions. As you move through the fog. So there's two life cycles that you're in right now. One stimulates confusion, The other stimulates a desire to break free.
Now, when you say break free, though, what I get is she can be very traditional. So she's trying to be herself, and you're trying to kind of break free from a traditional way of being and trying to kind of balance the two. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
So basically, right now, you are trying to find that sense of balance. But there's a lot of things in the past that haven't been completed that still need to be completed, which is why you're feeling, I want to say, trapped amongst all these different little tiny scenarios. Don't get caught up in the details. You'll be shown your path very soon. So the direction that you need to be traveling in is 1, stand in your power, 2, open your heart, and go with what feels right for you based on the messages that you're receiving.
So every situation, what is my truth? Does this feel good or does this not feel good? Does this feel right? And you have to be not afraid to trust what you feel and what you hear, okay? Does this have to relate to work as well for you?
Yes.
Yeah, big time. So for you, it's just trust your instincts, because sometimes you're scared. You hear other people say things and you don't want to rock the boat. But the thing is, it's not about rocking the boat. You're not going to rock any boats. People, listen, you're not going to rock any boats if you tell your truth, because a compromise will be found.
Yes.
Okay? Got to speak your truth. Got to be that courageous now. That's the next step for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love when people call in. I have so much fun, especially reading with another reader. I hope you're okay with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
647-931-4701 is the number if you want to call in and get your reading. And we have very special guest, Nancy Arruda. Nancy, where can we find you? Because you teach classes too, don't you?
Oh, I do.
We're going to talk about that. Where can people find you?
They can find me online at universalsky.com.
Okay.
I basically work out of several locations in Ontario. Mm-hmm. I work in Brampton, Barrie, Thornton, Cannington, Jackson's Point, Sutton, and Keswick.
Good Lord, you're everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
I didn't know you were up here in Brampton too.
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome. Come over for dinner. Now, tell me about the classes you teach.
I teach.
Because I've been to one. And it was
so there's 2 different styles of classes that I teach. If you're looking at a meditation class or when I do group healing sessions, okay, that's very much in the flow. So it's based on current energies that are transpiring that people are feeling, and we go into either embracing that energy or releasing it. So it's very hands-on for individuals.
And for me, the last time I was at your healing session, it was really cool because it was how to actually find the tools to move through it.
Yes.
That was a really important thing for me.
So
at that time.
a lot of times when I'm talking, because I'll go into dialogue to begin with, then we'll do the meditation, and then we go into dialogue afterwards. Based on the information that I share, because I never know what I'm going to share, 90% of it is channeled. I have like a 5% guideline that I'm told to follow, and then like the conversation just flows.
Yeah.
There's the potential to do a lot of healing just listening to me talk.
Yes.
Right? And the alignment work happens there.
Yes.
Then you go into your meditation and you get your own symbolism. You get your own confirmation.
It's very powerful.
Right? And that's where it makes it unique for each individual.
Yeah.
So I do those in Brampton, Cannington, Jackson's Point, Keswick, Thornton. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I was at your one in Keswick.
Yes. But then I also have my informational classes, so kind of like Introduction to Pendulum, Introduction to Tarot, Introduction to Astrology. There's a lot of like logical information that's shared, but again, I go with the flow based on what the group is like, because each class is kind of unique based on whoever the participants are, right? Yeah. In which you will learn the basics.
Right.
Okay. So, for example, learning tarot took me 10 years to learn it.
Yeah, you're not going to learn everything all at once.
No.
Don't expect to.
I do a 4-hour introduction workshop.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to give you a key meaning for each card. Okay. There's going to be ways in which trust your intuition. Like I'll show you little signals of how the cards will speak to you.
Yep.
Right. But with practicing with the cards, that's when you actually learn them.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same with astrology. In an Introduction to Astrology workshop, I give you little components into who you are because you're learning astrology through your chart.
Yes, and that's, as you said right from the beginning of the show, that's the best way to start.
Absolutely. But again, it's a 4-hour class. Okay, so you're going to get
so
4
much you can do.
hours. You're going to be like overwhelmed with the amount of information.
Yes and no, because you know what I find is you're overwhelmed in the moment, but then once the days and weeks go by, it starts to integrate and it starts to make sense. So don't push. Like if you go to a class like Nancy's classes, which I do recommend because I loved it, my reality is take in as much as you can. Feel the sense of overwhelm that you will, and be okay with that. Don't pressure yourself into going, oh my God, I have to understand, I have to understand. Just allow it, because what's going to happen is, as she said, as she's speaking, as you're going through the class, you're unblocking things. You're actually healing things, even in an informational session.
Absolutely. Because it's energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So as I share like the energetic experience of a planet,
right,
you're going to try and identify with how that planet influences you.
Yeah.
And that's going to be how that planet communicates to you.
Yeah.
So when you get that feeling or when you get that type of same nudge, then you know to look at that planetary energy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. 647-931-4701. We have 2 minutes in this segment, so if anybody wants to give a call, I would absolutely love that, and we'll give you a reading. You know the number, 647-931-4701. If you want to find out anything about me, you can always go to raisingenergy.com. You can go to tcntv.com, mytcntv.com, or you can even check out my new blog spot, which is mypsychiclifestyle.com, which I think is really cool, because that's really what this show is about, is what is it really like to be a psychic? What is it really like to live in our skin and our daily life? But I've noticed something through this show and through all the guests that I've had, is that in learning about who we are, you out there in viewerland, we're really showing not only that we're rather normal, aren't we? I'm starting to feel rather normal, to be honest.
I consider myself normal.
I never did. I never did. And I've always fought about that. I've always fought with myself. I want to be normal. And now that I do these shows, now that I connect with people, I'm starting to realize that I'm more normal than I give myself credit for.
Absolutely.
And we're in a time now, in a society, where this is more accepted. And this really is the norm. You know, talking about intuition, talking about energy work, it's something that everybody's okay with now. You go to Starbucks, you're standing in line. People are talking about, you know, what guides and guardians are. They're talking about, you know, the meditation class they went to. And it's so amazing to start to feel like, okay, this is our world.
And I believe that has to do with the age that we're in right now.
Agreed.
So I believe we are in the age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius. I knew you were going to go there.
So the last, 40, 50 years was kind of the bridge of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces was dark.
So tell me about the age of Aquarius. What does that mean?
It's the age of light.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Go watch the movie Hair, people. You'll understand.
It's the age of vibration. It's the age of energy. It's the age of light.
We're the new hippies.
It's the age of astrology.
Yeah.
I totally believe I'm a hippie. I am.
Yeah.
I was born in the 60s.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. In fact, it's really funny is that's my Halloween costume this year. I found my bell bottoms. I kid you not, people. I have bell bottoms at home, and I said to Carl, I said, I'm gonna be a hippie this year.
Yes.
This is what
Don't
I'm
forget
gonna
the
do.
headband.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to do like a flower over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to come to the studio because we actually have our show November 1st. And that's going to be a really special show for us.
Yes.
And we're going to do costumes. Okay,
Oh,
Anisha?
So
Are you in?
That show.
Nice.
That show's right in the veil.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. We have a psychic. That's one of our psychic days too. So we have a psychic coming on that day that I really, really admire. I admire everyone that's on my show, but she's very unique in who she is. So it's gonna be very interesting. October's gonna be cool, and you're coming back.
Absolutely.
You're gonna come back, right? Okay,
of course.
Awesome. We're coming back right after these messages, people. So stay tuned. Messages from an angel with Angel Morgan.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
And we're back for our hour exit on this particular show. Thank you so much, Nancy, for being here today. I didn't get to say thank you because I thought we were in segment 3. So thank you, Nancy Arruda, for being here. Thank you for all the information. I had a great time talking about being psychic, or what's to come in our astrological months. This was a really fantastic show, and I hope you join us again next week on our TCN Thursday with Messages from an Angel from 12 to 1. If you want to find out more about us, you can go to raisingenergy.com, mytcntv.com. You can check me out on Twitter, on Instagram. Please do. We have a great time doing the show, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week on Messages from an Angel.